What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We've got a baseball slate only today. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, it's not the greatest slate on the board. We can look at the games. There's not that many games going on today. They do start at 6 o'clock. Not a lot of good pitcher matchups. Not a lot of good matchups that I like in general. But I've got you guys with 5 of my favorite plays on the board right now. Congrats to OKC for getting that dub last night. It's sad that Halliburton ended up going down with that Achilles tear. Awful. Free picks yesterday weren't very good. Picks in general for me weren't very good yesterday. I'm just going to throw that out there. NBA, we ended up splitting our slip there. Siakam couldn't get us 20 points. He had 16. Dude just didn't even, to me, watching the game, like, Siakam just wasn't doing anything, to be honest. Like, it felt like almost like he just gave up. And I know they had some role players stepping up and score a lot of points, but Siakam, I just assumed, even when Halliburton went down, I was like, Siakam 20 points was a lot. Like, there's no way he doesn't give us 20 now. And, of course, he ends up giving us 16 points, which was pretty rough. But that being said, guys, we move on from yesterday. We're going to have a good day today. I'm feeling it. I'm going to start off by picking a winner from our last video to win a free month of VIP. If this video today gets 250 likes, I'm going to pick another comment down below to win a free month. So make sure you guys smash the like button, drop a comment, and let me know what sport you guys would like videos on the most right now. Is it more MLB or more WNBA? Because having a hard time deciding which one. Like, if I make a video for both, then I don't know which one to title it, so it makes it, I don't know. I don't know what people want to see, so I'm just asking for me to understand. That way I can make the video thumbnails and titles and everything a little bit better, which helps me a lot. But anyways, let's pick our winner from yesterday. So winner is going to be for Lunk Ahunta, who said, "Go Red Sox." Well, Lunk, send me a message on Discord. I got you a free month of VIP. I appreciate the love and support from every single one of you. And let's jump into some of these plays for today. So I've got 5 picks, like I said. Don't love this slate. If this is your first time betting on baseball, I wouldn't. Today's not the slate I would choose. I would just rest one more day before jumping into it, personally. But I don't dislike the plays that I picked by any means, but there's a better slate tomorrow. So if you have a low bankroll and you're worried about losing money today, I would probably just wait and save it for the next one, just being honest with you guys, because this slate is a little bit rough. But we're going to jump into our first one for the day. So the first play of the day is going to be for our man Patrick Corbin. So I'm taking the Texas pitcher. I'm taking him over 1.5 earned runs. So I'm betting on the Baltimore Orioles to score 2 runs on him. Now, that could be a little bit sweaty just because it's the Orioles. They're obviously not a very good hitting team. But 1.5 earned runs for our man Patrick Corbin is a pretty safe play for the majority. If you look at his last 10 games, 9 of his last 10 games he give up at least 2 earned runs. On the season, 11 of 13 games he's cashed this line. He's give up 3 or 4 earned runs in the majority of these games. Some games he has 2. No head-to-head data versus Baltimore. He just gave up 4 versus Kansas City. The game before that he gave 3 versus the Twins. Patrick Corbin's not a good pitcher. He's chalked 14.5 for me so many times this season. It makes it hard to trust him for anything. So looking at Patrick Corbin, he is 4-6 on the season. He's a 3.91 ERA and he has a 1.25 WHIP. So he has not been dealing this season. He's averaging 5.2 innings pitched per game and 87 pitches. So he has a regular leash pretty much. Pitches pretty much up to 90 majority of these games. Going against one of the worst offenses in the league. 218 batting average, 293 on-base percentage, and a 302 slug percentage. So these Baltimore batters aren't very scary by any means. I wouldn't say that. But if we come down here and we look at, why does it say versus Trevor Rogers? All right, so, I mean, I guess OUTLIER just has the wrong play on the board. It's Patrick Corbin. But anyways, let's pull Patrick Corbin up. Looking at how these Baltimore batters fare versus him, there's nobody that does anything really. I mean, you got 5-1 from Sanchez, 5-1, 3-0, 5-0, 6-2. So there's not a lot going on here, but 2 earned runs for Patrick Corbin. He's another pitcher. He can throw wild. He can. We can come over here and look at batters base. So he's walking at least 2 batters pretty much every single game. Some of these games he's having a lot of control issues, 4 and 3 walks, and he's not pitching deep into the game. So he's giving up a lot of walks for the amount of time he's actually in there. His WHIP, like we said, 1.25, and that's what I was looking at. Trevor Rogers, I've had the wrong team selected. My bad. I apologize for that. Anyways, but Yeah, so Patrick Corbin could have some control issues. Obviously, he walks batters and somebody hits a home run. All it takes is one walk or one hit and then a homer, and he's going to go over this earned run. So, like to play for Patrick Corbin, 1.5 earned runs. You can lock it in on whichever platform you want. I locked this in on Prizepicks. That being said, I will show you this slip that I locked in on Prizepicks. Then we're going to lock in some slips together live. But I locked in this one. So, let's pull this up. So, this is what I locked in on Prizepicks. Let me just do this. Show you guys I have to slip because I'm not logged in on Prizepicks, so it doesn't matter. But here we go. Patrick Corbin, Matthew Liberatore. That's going to be our next play, which is under 17.5 pitching out. So I'll go ahead and pull this up to Liberatore. 17.5 pitching outs. I'm locking in the under. So he's been under this in 5 of his last 10. He's been under this in 5 of 14 on the season. So taking a look at this, you would be like, there's no way that Matthew is going to go under the 18.5 pitching outs. He's been over every game. Ace, why would you take this? So right now, upper 90s again in St. Louis. I've seen them pull Sonny Gray early, so I've seen them take these pitchers out earlier than they should, especially when the heat's like this. And they're going against the Cubs, man. The Cubs are a good team. If you come down here and look at their offense, they have a top 10 offense in pretty much every single category, a 251 batting average, a 318 on-base percentage, and a 764 OPS, which is the 6th best OPS in the league. OPS stands for on-base plus slug percentage, which is obviously an average of their on-base percentage and the slugging percentage, which obviously, I mean, that's pretty obvious. But anyways, that being said, if you look at our man Liberatore, he is 4-6 on the season. He has a 4.08 ERA and he has a 1.16 WHIP. So he's not a very good pitcher. He has been pitching around 84 pitches per game on average. He had one game he got pulled at 42 and one game he got pulled at 71. That kind of brings his average down slightly, but you can see he's getting pretty close to 90. So he'll get around 90 pitches. I don't think he is going to pitch a full 6 innings versus the Cubs with just 90 pitches. At 90 pitches to get 6 innings, you have to go 15 pitches per inning on average to do that. Now, a lot of these pitchers that can pitch 103, 104 pitches, they have a little bit of wiggle room. So if you're playing like Hunter Brown, for example, who pitches around 100 pitches, 103 pitches a lot of these games, then he pretty much has a 13 pitch cushion on that 15 average that he needs per 6 innings. So if you were to get 19 or 20 in a few innings, it wouldn't really matter even if you stayed at 15. But Matthew Liberatore is not like that. He does not have a super long leash. He does get a lot of pop and ground outs a lot of these games, but I just don't think he's going to make it through 6 innings versus the Cubs tonight. So that's just a personal preference or a personal opinion here. If you don't like this play, you don't have to play it. I will pull our man Liberatore up right now, and we're going to take a look at how these batters fare versus him. So we're going to come down here. We're going to look at this. There's not a whole lot of data on these. I mean, you can see Hop has 2 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 home run, 1 RBI, 2 walks. He's a 275 OPS. You can come down here. I mean, there's not a lot going on here. 3-1, 1-0, 4-1, 2-0, 4-1, 2-0. So there's 3 people with OPS over 700, which isn't a lot, but there's just not much data to go by either. I don't think Liberatore is going to have a great game. I think he's going to get lit up by the Cubs. And I think he's going to get pulled before a full 6 innings. So I've got him locked in already. You guys can see $100 to win $225. If you guys do want to tell that play. But that being said, let's jump into pick number 3 of the day, and then we're going to be locking these in live on Parlay Play. So the first pick I have for the next slip, or pick number 3 in total, is going to be for our man Mitchell Parker. So I'm taking Mitchell Parker. I'm going to take him to go over 4.5 hits allowed. So his original line is 4.5. You can buy this down on Parlay Play to, his original line is 5.5. You can buy it down to 4.5 on Parlay Play for a decent payout. He's catched just 8 of 15 games this season so far. He's averaging 5 hits allowed per game. You can see a lot of these games he's getting 6, 7, 8 hits allowed. Some of these games he's getting 4. Now they're playing against the Padres today. The Padres are playing at home, head-to-head versus the Padres. He has 1 game from last season where he gave up 7 hits. Now, that being said, if we come over here and we look at these Padres batters versus Mitchell Parker, and I'm just going to pull it up on RotoWire because I like the way it looks on RotoWire a whole lot better. So we're going to do it this way. But if you take a look at some of these batters, and did I click Stephen Collette? Yeah, okay. I was about to say what happened. All right, anyways, Mitchell Parker. So let's take a look at this. Tatis, 0. He hasn't even seen Tatis yet, so there's 0 at-bats right there. But if you look at Reyes, 6 at-bats, 4 hits, 2 RBIs, 66% average, 1.3 OPS. If you look at Machado, he's 2-0. If you look at Merrill, 2 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 at-bat, 1 hit, 5 at-bats, 2 hits. You got OPS 2.0 OPS, 2.5, 1.3. Not a lot of data. Reyes having 6 and 4 looks really, really tempting to me, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys I'm giving Reyes as a HRR play. If you guys wanted to lock it in instead, you can do what you want. I think Reyes has a good game tonight. Now, it's a lefty-on-lefty matchup, so the matchup's not great for Reyes, but the way he's hit, and only 6 at-bats, man, 4 hits out of 6, it's a crazy good odds here. That being said, I just think our man Mitchell Parker is going to have a rough game. He has a 4.59 ERA and a 1.32 WHIP. He's not a good pitcher by any means. We can take a look at that here, right here. You can see 4.59, 1.32. Not a good pitcher. He's got lit up before. He got lit up by a lot of teams. He pitches 5 innings on average, runs around 87 pitches. Some of these games he's getting 90. So he'll get between 80 and 90 pitches. Plenty of time for him to give up at least 5 hits. Like to play a lot. If we look at his walks, when I'm looking at hits allowed, I do like to look at walks because if they walk every batter, then it's going to be hard to get hits unless, you know what I'm saying, if they have a ton of control issues and the Padres can sit there and just take these walks, then he might get pulled. His pitch count will get milked. So if their pitch count gets to 40 or 50 and you have 1 hit allowed and then they just continue to walk, then they're just going to get pulled early anyway and you're not going to have a chance to get these hits. But looking at the Padres get walked 8.6%, which is pretty high, 12th in the league in terms of walks. So they are a pretty patient team. And I will say, Mitchell Parker has a lot of control issues. You can see some of these games 4 and 5 walks per game. Now, if you look at him lately, he's getting 0 to 2 in pretty much his last 8-ish games or so. He had a 0 his last game versus Colorado, 0 versus Texas. So as of lately, it hasn't looked that bad. But I could see there being potential control issues for my man Mitchell Parker. So if you want to run 1.5 walks, you could do that as well. It's batters-based pitcher. Batters-based right here would be like if he was a batter and he got walked. But anyways, you could do that if you wanted to. I like the hits allowed prop, so I'm going to pull it up. So Parker, and we can look at the payouts on these. So if you were going to go hits allowed route, you got a 1.44x if you lock this in. If you went to walks allowed, it'd be a 1.85 to go over 1.5. It's a pretty good payout. I'm not going to lie. It's a pretty good payout. I might have to run that. I'm going to have to run that probably. But anyways, 4.5 hits allowed for Mitchell Parker. That's what I got for the first slip, and that's what I'm going to be locking in. So that's going to be pick number 3 of the day, Mitchell Parker, to give up 4.5 hits. So they're jumping into our next play of the day. The one I ran with Mitchell Parker is going to be for our man Eduardo Rodriguez. So I'm taking Rodriguez, the Arizona pitcher. They're playing against the White Sox. Now I'm taking him to give us 5 strikeouts. Rodriguez isn't a great pitcher. I will say that. On this season so far, he's averaging 5 Ks per game. He's cash distance 6 of 12, which is 50% on the dot. Now, if you look at him, he's 2 and 4 on the season. He has a 5.93 ERA. He's not a good pitcher, like I said. He has a 1.6 WHIP, which is the worst pitcher we've looked at pretty much so far today. If you look at his strikeouts per 9 innings, he's averaging 9.5 Ks per 9 innings. So he gets a little over a strikeout per inning pitcher. If you look at this season, he's averaging 86 pitches per game. He has 1 game versus the Phillies where he pitched 100 pitches. He can go deep into these games. You can see high 90s, 100. A lot of these games he's getting 70 and 80. Depends on how well he's pitching. They're going against the White Sox. He's playing in Chicago. Not a huge threat for the White Sox if we come down here. Look at the White Sox, one of the worst teams in the league in terms of batting. That's not they're one of the worst teams in terms of batting, but that's going to be the strikeout potential. So strikeout potential, they strike out a ton. 27th, 26% of batters for Chicago is going to strike out versus the left-handed pitcher. So it's a very, very good matchup for strikeouts, which is why I like it, and it's versus the White Sox. So I ended up taking that. You can look at these hitters versus Rodriguez. I don't know if it shows strikeouts here. So K percent, you can see some of these batters, 33% strikeout percent, 40%, 33%, 33%, 30%, 66.7%. So a lot of these batters for the White Sox that have seen Rodriguez strike out a lot. So that being said, I like the matchup here for him. I wouldn't take Rodriguez usually as a strikeout pitcher personally. You can see he's went under 5 in pretty much 4 of his last 5 games. So we'll slightly be sweaty versus the White Sox. I'm taking a chance on him. Just on a slate that there's not a whole lot of value, I think this is a play that could give us a nice little slip here for a 2.16 payout. So I'm going to lock it in, 250 to win 540, and I do have him locked in. So that's going to be our second slip of the day and 4 picks overall. Then I showed you guys already, I like a Reyes to go over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Luis Reyes for the Padres, 1.5. You can see In his last, or on the season, he hit this in 38 of 71 attempts. His last 10, he's cashed 8 of his last 10 at-bats. And he's on a streak, 6-game streak, of where he has hit at least 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. Now, this is a lefty on lefty matchup, which is a tough matchup for a left-handed batter. The pitcher's going to be the one who is in the favorable matchup here. But if we look at Reyes versus Mitchell Parker, we've already seen he has 6 attempts. He's a 667 on-base percentage, so he gets on base 70% of times he's been against Mitchell Parker with 4 hits and 2 RBIs. Now, we can come down here. Let's see here. Let's look at the pitch count. He throws 54% of his pitches for Parker is going to be a fastball. 20.3% is going to be a curveball, and then 17% is going to be a splitter. So mainly splitters and curveballs, and then mainly fastballs with curveballs and splitters. Secondary. Shoot, man, your boy is struggling to talk here. But anyways, looking at Reyes versus a fastball, he's a 344 on base percentage. A cutter or a curveball is a 354 on base percentage. Then his splitter is a 313. So he hits decently well versus these types of pitches. Sliders 324, not terrible. Overall, he has like a 306 on base average. So, anyways, like the matchup for Reyes versus Mitchell Parker. I think he gets it regardless. I'm going to take a chance with him. I'm not going to lock him in with a slip live, but you can come down here and see Reyes. Should be like a 1.7x payout on this slip. So, yeah, 1.69. If you locked it in with any promo you wanted, for example, Swellenbach here, you can get this to be a 2.3x. You could lock it with Duran for a 1.49x for hits, runs, RBIs. Totally up to you what you guys want to do with the play. If you guys do want to fade it, I wouldn't blame you. It's a hits, run, RBIs play. I know some people ask for them, and I know some people don't like them. So, up to you what you do with that play. But anyways, that's our 5th play of the day, guys. Doing a little recap. We have Patrick Corbin over 1.5 earned runs. We've got Matthew Liberatore under 17.5 pitching outs. Come over here to track picks. We have, why do I have that slip 3 times? Okay. Anyways, Ben Brown. I don't even remember locking these in, guys. That must have been an accident. Anyways, if you want to tell my accidental slips, go for it. Probably not bad. Ben Brown, 4.5 hits. I don't know, man. I can't even cancel these. I don't even know what happened with that. Regardless, Rodriguez, Parker, 250 to win 540 is locked in. You guys can see 270 to win 577, but that's with 2 slips that had to be an accident. I don't understand that. If those would have been higher plays, I'd be a little bit more upset, but it's only $10, so I'm okay with it, but we'll see what happens with those. But anyways, that's what I got for today, guys. Have a better slate tomorrow. Make sure you guys leave a like and comment for a chance of free VIP. Hope you guys have an awesome day. If you want to get all of our plays, click that WAP link down in the description. For $10 a week or $25 a month, you can get every single play that we drop. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next one.